church say amen. What up, Monster Mob? You already know, man. I'm back with another video, man. Today we got a good one. We got a good one. You feel me? So, we gotta go ahead and get straight into it. I'm not even about to talk too much because I'm excited. You already know who I like to react to these days. Mr. Nightmare. These stories just be, you feel me? So, this is 3 true, disturbing fall horror stories. Basically fall October. Let's be real. The big bro picture now is a pumpkin. Or it's supposed to be a pumpkin, I guess. I don't know. Forget it. But yeah, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm about to go ahead and get into this video. Make sure you tell a friend to tell your friend to tell a friend to tell their mom or their daddy. And tell strangers on the street. Just be like, hey, you heard of Monster Reactions? Yeah, go watch that. That man funny. That man raw. You feel me? Cause you already know I'm real, I'm solid, I'm funny, and I'm authentic. I'm all that. So, hey, you about to go ahead and do this thing. Yeah!
And made history. So what did the Republicans do? They started passing laws, trying to make it harder for black voters in Georgia. Raphael Warnock is leading the fight
Vote
to
for
restore
Raphael
the Voting
Warnock.
Rights Act. Now we need to vote.
Vote for him.
A business account?
God dang, all these ads.
Here's how.
I don't even have ads yet. Come on now. Yo. Let's get to it. Story number 1 by Nancy L. Dot.
My name is Nancy, and I work as a behavioral therapist in a local psychology office. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I've dealt with a lot of different types of people. I've had hundreds of clients now, and I used to think I've seen everything, but I didn't realize how wrong I was until I took in a young man named Peter as a client.
Not sponsored.
Peter was 15 years old.
But if y'all want to
Peter's father,
sponsor me,
Tom, would always come in with his son for our sessions. Tom believed his son was on the spectrum for autism, or any kind of social disorder, because all of his life he lacked friends and the ability to socialize with other people his age properly. What I would do at our therapy sessions is try to talk to Peter about things he enjoyed doing, things he wanted to do, and try to get him to open up about his personal life. But at first it was hard because he was very quiet and shy. I would ask Tom to leave the room occasionally to ask Peter some more personal questions about his family life and such. Right. And it seems Peter opens up a bit more when his father wasn't in the room. But
fun fact, I used to want to be a psychologist. A psychiatrist? Psychologist? I forgot to say it. Is it psychiatrist or psychologist? But y'all know what I'm trying to say though. I used to want to do whatever she doing.
Always caught the vibe Tom preferred to stay in the room. I learned from Peter that his
parents
didn't get along at all. He would fight almost every night for as long as he could remember. He had no siblings or cousins, coming from a very small family. So one thing about me, I love the fall season and anything pumpkin. Pumpkin beers, pumpkin pie, pumpkin spice latte. I can't get enough. One therapy session talking about the freshly fall weather outside. Peter was telling me about how this was his favorite season, and I told him the same, largely because of my love for pumpkin flavored things. But later that night, when I was already in my robe getting ready for bed, there was a loud knocking at my front door. I never get knocks past 9 o'clock, so I was nervous when I went to check the window to see who was there. There wasn't anyone, but when I opened the door, I saw a mini pumpkin and a pumpkin-flavored coffee creamer on the ground in front of my door. I knew this was no coincidence. Only a few hours ago, I told Peter about my obsession with pumpkin-flavored things. When my attempted call to Thomas the next day didn't go through, I texted him a picture of the 2 items left by my door, and how inappropriate and uncomfortable it is for me to be followed home by a client. Tom texted back within 10 minutes, saying that his son would never do something like that. He almost acted offended by my accusation. Momentarily, it got me wondering, what if it was just a gift from a neighbor or something? The week went by, and I wondered if I should terminate my relationship with Peter as a client. But I decided not to see how the next session would go.
Okay.
The following Monday, Peter and Tom came in like usual.
Okay.
Peter seemed to be acting as normal. By now, he seemed very happy to talk to me, but I thought I saw it for what it was now. That he may have thought he was attracted to me, being possibly the only woman to speak to him with respect in his life. During that session, I brought up the little gifts at my front door with a smile, not directly accusing him of leaving them, just hinting at what a coincidence it was. And I noticed Tom getting annoyed in the corner by my bringing it up. Peter acted shocked and agreed it was a huge coincidence. It was a truly bizarre situation, and I didn't know what to do. But if it happened again, I knew I'd have to terminate our relationship. 2 nights later, a knock at my door again while I was in the living room watching a movie.
Who at the door?
My heart sank because I already knew what I was expecting. I checked the window again, and no one was there. So I slowly opened the door and sighed out of disgust when I saw more pumpkin-flavored things on my stoop. This time a pumpkin pie, pumpkin Cheerios, and pumpkin Oreos.
Ooh, they got money.
It was a little past 9 o'clock at this
Cheerios
point.
is crazy though.
I got my cell phone and took a picture of the items once again and sent it to Tom.
Hold on, they make pumpkin Cheerios? Since pumpkin Cheerios? Is she talking about the cereal or the them sticks called Cheerios? Someone let me know in the comments. Let me know.
I was about to start typing out a text about why I could no longer see them, but I heard the ding of someone's phone receiving a text right to my left, in the bushes in front of my house. I started walking slowly over to it, saying Peter's name. I saw someone hiding in the bush as I got close enough, but it wasn't Peter.
No.
It was Tom.
No!
We looked each other in the eyes, and he said, "Hi, Nancy, you look beautiful as always." And I screamed. I ran into my house and locked the door, seconds before he tried opening it and started banging on it. I screamed to leave me alone or I'd call the police. He apologized through the door and yelled he's leaving. I watched through the window as he left to his car and drove away.
What?
This explained not only the unwanted gifts at my door, but possibly the sound of my side gate closing in the middle of the night weeks prior to this. I have no idea how long he was stalking me at my house. My brother, who's a police officer, advised me not to even bother trying to get a restraining order because there wasn't any evidence that he meant me any harm, and it would just be he said, she said allegations. However, I did report the case to the police and added that Peter may be in an unsafe, abusive household. I don't know what Tom's end goal was.
That's crazy. So that's why little bro act like that, because his daddy weird. So who know what he got going on at home? And he got offended because he was like, why would you think my son would do that? I did it. Can't you not see? That's probably how he was thinking in his mind. I don't know. That's just my, I don't know. That's just how I thought he would react. I don't know. But at least he wasn't lying. His son really ain't did that. And his son really didn't know. His daddy a whole weirdo. I gotta sneeze. Oh, bless me. Bless me. Hold on. All right, we back in action.
Following me home and leaving those things by my door. Based on the way he tried to open my door after I locked it, though, says he wasn't trying to be a romantic type. I feel sorry for Peter. His dad brought him in to see me only as some kind of method of getting closer to me.
Which is crazy. That's weird, though. Dang, that's close to my name, boy. The heck?
In 2020, we showed up to vote and made history. So what did the Republicans do? They started passing laws, trying to make it harder for black voters in Georgia. Raphael Warnock is leading the fight to restore the Voting Rights Act. Now we need to vote.
Right.
Watch this. I can show you how to get the biggest discounts online when you shop at major retailers like Amazon.
I can't wait to hear what this is.
It was a Friday night in early October a long time ago. I was with my 3 friends, Jose, Brian, and Tanya. We were being bored teenagers wanting something to do in the spirit of the season. It was a nice fall night out, low 60s, nice breeze, so we wanted to be outside. Not much goes on in our boring town, and we weren't old enough to go to bars or anything. We decided to ride our bikes up Miller's Road to this old closed-down pumpkin farm nicknamed Farmer John's Pumpkin Patch.
Wow.
It used to be a literal farm surrounded by crops on one side and forest on the other.
Just be home.
The alleged Farmer John, or whoever actually owned it, didn't live there anymore. It was sold, and whoever bought the land just never did anything with it for a long time. It was a 20-minute bike ride up Miller's Road, which is an extremely quiet road traffic-wise. Just lots of cornfields and farms around this area.
I ain't gonna lie, but who is this really? Because this ain't their footage. You feel me? So who was doing this? And how did you get this video, Mr.
The old abandoned house that the owner used to live in. We walked around the overgrown grass a bit, checking out where the pumpkin patch used to be and where the animals in the little petting zoo area used to be.
20 minutes on
There's something really cool about exploring abandoned places at night, but also kind of spooky. We went back to the house where we left the bikes. Breaking into it was relatively easy since we weren't the first ones to do so. The door was already knocked off the hinges. All we had to do was kick it open. This is where it got really creepy though, being in an abandoned house at night. Even as a thrill seeker, it's a bit unnerving, even when you're 4 people. I'd say 5 minutes into being inside the house, we started to hear thumps from upstairs. Like periodic thumps, not just random thumps. Jose and I decided to head upstairs to check it out. Tanya didn't want to go upstairs because she was scared, so Brian stayed downstairs with her. When we got to the upstairs, the thumping was much louder for sure. It came from the left side of the stairs.
And y'all went up
Our
there and
flashlights
continued
revealed
to
a bunch of
go?
doors up here.
Look!
All open, leading into what were probably once all bedrooms. Our footsteps were loud as we walked closer to the room with the thumping. There was no way to hide it on these rickety
What's wrong with folks?
floorboards. As we got to the corner
I'm surprised
of the
they allowed to
doorway,
tell the story.
thumping stopped. I whispered to Jose, "Is it an animal?" He went, "Shh." I pointed my flashlight into the room, starting from the left side and working the light to the right. I stopped when my flashlight landed on a male's figure in the corner of the room facing the wall, with what appeared to be blood on the wall in front of him, probably banging his head on it, creating those thumping sounds. Jose aimed his light at him too, and we both jumped back.
This the real footage?
We left in a hurry, and as we ran down the stairs, a horrifying, gut-wrenching scream came from the room we were just in, causing all 4 of us to scream. As we left the house and got to our bikes, we heard stomping down the stairs from inside the house as the screaming got louder. We all ran to our bikes, absolutely freaked the fuck out. We pedaled as fast as we could out of there. The screaming stopped before it ever came out of the house. We didn't look back. We continued pedaling all the way up Miller's Road till we got back to my house.
I feel like I'm gonna end
I
here.
have no idea what we witnessed in there, and I won't even try to explain it.
Nah, that's crazy, gang. I don't know how they made it out. Nobody got snatched up? That's crazy.
When I was a little kid, there was this top of the mountains
Good
resort
for
I
you.
went to with my
Shouldn't have
family
went
2
there.
different times. The resort was shut
Really?
down a long time ago, but I remember it for the most part to be a very nice, family-friendly place. Both times we went, it was in the fall because my mom wanted to go for the changing colors of the leaves.
Aww.
This story takes place the second time we went to the resort.
It looked
I
nice.
was,
Well,
I
this
think,
picture
6
is
years
nice.
old. My older brother Corey was around 10, and my little brother was around 4.
Alright.
My parents paid most attention to my little brother, of course, with the expectation that my older brother would be kind of watching out for me.
That
On
never
this
happens.
particular night, we were doing the bonfire marshmallow
Really?
roast and hayride. We had ridden the hayride already while the sun was going down. After that was the bonfire and mini fireworks show.
Ooh, wow.
At the bonfire, I met this man who started talking to me, asking me if I was having fun and if I'd been to the resort before.
Weirdo
He said he
alert.
was one of the owners.
Weirdo
and he gave me
alert.
a little laser pointer toy. And I instantly trusted him because, I was 6. The hayride driver
That don't
announced
mean
that he
nothing.
was doing a final ride in the dark.
When I was
He was
younger,
gonna
I would
ride
yell
down
that
the big
weirdo
hill,
alert.
which
I don't
sounded
know you, and I
exciting.
would have walked away.
My older brother suggested we do it. He made some friends at the resort, so I think he disappeared to go look for them to ride the hayride with us. In the
I
meantime,
would've
I
grabbed
was still
everybody's
sitting by
attention
the
around.
bonfire.
Weirdo
My
alert.
dad was drinking beer with his other dad on the other side of the fire, and my mom was with my little brother roasting marshmallows. Eventually, I went to go ask my mom where Corey went, and she said he's going on the hayride and to hurry and get on before they left. So I hurried to the mini line of like 5 people waiting to get on, and when I was on, there were about 15 to 20 people on there, but I didn't see my brother. I sat on one of the haystacks anyway, waiting, as the truck started up, indicating it was about to leave. I saw that man from before climb into the truck with a woman behind him, and he came to sit next to me when he saw me. He asked where my family was, and I shrugged my shoulders. Speaking of that, my brother never got on the hayride. The woman sat next to him. She looked at me and smiled, and he said that's his wife.
That's crazy.
He asked if I still had that laser pointer, and I said yeah and showed it to him. He smiled. The whole time I spoke with the man, his wife next to him was looking at me, smiling. During the hayride, the
Weirdo
two were
alert.
basically talking to me the whole time. Then when we were approaching the hill drop where the driver said he was going to floor it, the man next to me saw I was nervous. So when we drove down the hill, he grabbed my arms and lifted them in the air so as to do the no hands thing that people like to do on roller coasters.
That's not your
It actually made
child.
me laugh because the drop down was fun.
That's
The man
weird.
asked me if I had been to the arcade of the resort yet, and when I shook my head no, he told me he had the key to a lot of the games, and asked if I wanted it. I of course shook my head yes. He said he'd just have to go get it and go there with me, and it would be all mine. We one by one left the back of the truck as we got back to the bonfire. The man and woman both walked alongside me.
Terrible
The woman held my
parents.
hand and kept calling me
Terrible.
sweetie anytime she said something to me. The man said the arcade wasn't far, As we walked away from the brightness of the huge bonfire and into the darkness of the pathway back towards the cabins and main buildings of the resort,
That's crazy.
I heard Cody's voice call my name from behind. I turned, and it was Cody looking at us. I yelled back, "We're going to the arcade," and the man and woman looked back but didn't say anything. My brother didn't follow us or say anything else. After we got further from the bonfire, the woman's grip on my hand got tighter, and we started walking faster. Something wasn't right, because her grip was starting to hurt me. I also noticed we weren't going in the direction of the clubhouse. We were heading towards the parking lot. When I asked where we were going, the man said we're getting the key to the arcade games. Next thing I remember, my mom's panicked screaming voice was heard behind us, screaming, "Let go of him." My mom was running over hysterical, and the two strangers stepped away from me, and I remember the woman saying some BS like they were taking me to the front desk area. My mom yelled and cursed at them, and the two of them just quickly walked away into the darkness.
Wow.
I wish my dad was with my mom at that moment to kick the man's ass. The worst part is they got to just drive off and potentially do this to somebody else.
Dang, that's crazy.
My mom asked everybody at the bonfire if they had seen those people. Nobody recognized them. She also reported this to the resort and the police. But really, what could they do once the couple disappeared?
Right.
The idea that I was almost kidnapped by a creepy older couple when I was only 6 or 7 is stomach churning, even to this day.
Nah, that's wild. Nah, that's wild. That's wild. That's a blessing he's still alive. And he ain't get snatched, boy. But I still say terrible parents, though. Terrible parents, because why is you not watching your kids? Just because you're at a resort, you supposed to just be all free willy-nilly? Like, that don't even make sense to me. The brother, I don't know what happened. You know, like, where was his brother at? He should have explained that part, but, hey, man, that's crazy. God was with him. That's a crazy story. Because it's like a whole bunch of what ifs. You feel me? Like, that's wild. But see, me, I was taught, somebody asks you a question, that mean they don't know. And I don't go for like when your girlfriend asks you a question because she already know the answer. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about literally when somebody asks you a question, that mean they don't know. So when they said, "Hey, do you know where your family is?" or whatever that question was, and he said, "Oh, where's your family?" He said, I would have been like, "Oh, they right here." Or I would have got off because, you feel me? Like, you weird. Why you air where I'm at? You feel me? So, but hey, if you made this far, man, thank you for watching, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, you can do anything. You go anywhere. I'm going to take yourself with you. Most of my man, we out. Peace.